Learn how to update your BRX Do-More PLC firmware with ease. We'll walk you through a step-by-step guide on updating your BRX Do-More PLC firmware. Firmware updates can improve PLC performance, add new features, and ensure compatibility with newer technologies and hardware. Remember that outdated firmware may leave your PLCs vulnerable to cyber attacks, including hacking and data breaches. Whether you're a seasoned programmer or just starting, this information will help you confidently navigate the process. So let's get started and make updating your BRX Do-More PLC firmware a breeze. Detailed information contained in this video can be found at accautomation.ca. A link has been put in the description below. If you have not watched the other videos yet, there will be links in the description below that will start you at video 1. There will be links to the rest of the videos in the series as well. Updating BRX Do-More PLC firmware. We are currently connected to the BRX Do-More PLC through Ethernet. You can see this by the run indication and the status of the switch on the PLC. Call up the system info under the Tools menu of the project browser. You can also use the main screen PLC system information. The system information window will be displayed. Under the CPU version information, you will see the current version of the firmware in the PLC. The asterisks indicate that an update is available. Select Update for the Do-More CPU version. A message will indicate that firmware updating can only happen in program mode. Since our switch is in terminal mode, the software can change this to program mode. Select Switch to Program Mode. The Update Operating System window will be displayed. This will show us the current and new operating system information. Select Update. An information window will ask if we wish to continue updating our PLC's operating system. Select OK. Our Update Operating System window will display the status of our firmware update. Firmware is software embedded explicitly in hardware devices to control its basic functions. In contrast, software is a broader term encompassing programs and data that runs on a device and interact with the user. In a PLC, the firmware refers to the programming, like starting the device, managing communications, and handling basic input and output. It is a scan of the PLC. Software is a higher level programming, like ladder logic, that interacts with the user to define the logic and processes the PLC will execute. When complete, the Update Operating System window will show that our current and new operating systems match. Select Exit. The software will then ask if you wish to switch back to run mode. Select Yes. We can now see the BRX Do-More has been updated to the latest firmware version under the CPU version information in the System Information window. If you are enjoying this video, please hit the like button below. Keeping up with all the latest automation innovations can be difficult, so hit the subscribe button. Remember to click the bell beside your subscription to actually receive those notifications. BRX Booter Firmware Update. Once again, the asterisks indicate that the booter must also be updated. Select Update. A warning message will again be displayed asking if switching from run to program mode is okay. Select Switch to Program Mode. The Update Gate Array and Loader window will be displayed. This will show the current and new gate array and loader information. Select Update. A window will now ask if you want to continue updating the PLC. Select OK. The Update Gate Array and Load window will display the progress of our update. Booter is a short form for the bootloader in the PLC CPU. The FPGA is the gate array code in the PLC CPU. The gate array refers to logic gates that are pre-laid in matrix form on a chip, allowing for a realization of different types of logic gates by connecting the pre-laid components appropriately. When the booter firmware update is complete, a message will be displayed. We will need to power cycle the PLC to load the new image. Select OK to close the message. Select Exit to close the Update Gate Array and Loader window. Answer Yes to return to run mode. We can now turn the power off and then on to our BRX Do-More PLC. Once communication is automatically established again, our CPU firmware version information is updated. Select OK to close the System Information window. Why update PLC firmware? While the exact number of PLCs with outdated firmware is unknown, it's clear that a substantial proportion of PLCs in use, especially in older systems, are running older versions. Updating the firmware in a PLC or programmable logic controller is critical for several reasons. First and foremost, firmware updates often include critical bug fixes, including security vulnerabilities and improvements that enhance the overall performance and reliability of the PLC. These updates can also introduce new features or functionality, allowing the system to adapt to evolving industry requirements or technologies. The process of updating a BRX Do-More PLC firmware is quite simple. General PLC firmware updates typically involve downloading the new firmware version from the manufacturer's website, connecting the PLC to a computer, and using the provided software to upload the update. Detailed instructions are often provided with the firmware, making it straightforward even for those with minimal technical experience. Keeping PLC firmware up to date is the best practice that contributes to the longevity and stability of industrial automation systems. To learn more about the BRX Do-More PLC, click here. Click here to see how the Modbus scanner in the BRX Do-More PLC makes it easy to communicate with other industrial equipment.